I am Bridget Lake, president of the Oviedo Winter Springs Regional Chamber of Commerce, and we are here with Sheriff John Mina, running for re-election for Orange County Sheriff. Our premier virtual Eastside Regional Hob Nob is presented by Lucas Land Group, an Oviedo-based family-run business with interest throughout Central Florida. Our sponsor, Duke Energy, and our radio sponsor, 96.5 WDBO. Now, before we begin our discussion, let's watch a quick commercial from Duke Energy.
When does the future begin? At Duke Energy, we say now. That's why we're investing in tomorrow's stronger, smarter energy future, today. Like a resilient power grid that can withstand storms not yet on the radar. Meters that show your energy use so you can adjust and save before your bill arrives. And a smarter grid ready for tomorrow's clean energy breakthroughs. We're Duke Energy, and we're building your smarter energy future today.
And now we are back with Sheriff John Mina, running for Orange County Sheriff. And he is one of our candidates at the Eastside Regional Hob Nob. Sheriff, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Bridget. Thanks for having me with you today.
Thank you so much. I know you have an incredibly busy schedule of everything going on. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I was born in New York, raised in New Jersey. I went to a Catholic elementary school and a public high school. Right out of high school, I joined the United States Army, where I served 3 years in the 82nd Airborne Division as a military police officer. And from there, I was recruited by the Orlando Police Department. So immediately came down to Orlando in 1990, attended the police academy. So I served 28 years with the Orlando Police Department and did a number of things there, from being in drug enforcement to investigating crimes against children. I was on the SWAT team for 17 years and ultimately the SWAT team commander. And I rose through the ranks, and in April of 2014, Mayor Buddy Dyer appointed me as the 38th police chief in the city of Orlando. So I spent almost 4 years as the chief of police in the city of Orlando. Of course, dealt with a lot of different things and was able to reduce crime and reduce police use of force. Also dealt with several crises, such as the tragedy at Pulse. And then in 2018, when then Sheriff Demings left to become our mayor, I decided that I wanted to run for Orange County Sheriff. I had been a resident of Orange County for 30 years. This is where I raised my family and have community connections all throughout Orange County, so I thought it was a perfect fit. And then in November of 2018, the voters of Orange County voted me to be their 29th sheriff here in Orange County. So I've been the sheriff here for 2 years. And again, we've been able to reduce crime and continue to build trust with our community. Currently, I'm endorsed by Congresswoman Val Demings, Congressman Darren Soto, and Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy, along with a host of other organizations and people from our community. And I would encourage everyone to go to my website at sheriffmina.com to learn more about me and my platform.
Well, talk about having like your daily activities different every day, especially just so many different, year by year, having so many different tasks that you have, different roles that you have gone through. Now, you had mentioned strengthening relationships throughout the community. So what are some of the ways that you've done that, and some of the ways that you are involved in the community? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So it has always been my philosophy that the community needs to see us not only as the ones who are protecting them from crime, but also part of this community. And a big portion of that is making sure that our deputies understand that the community needs to see us in non-enforcement type situations. So that's why you'll see when I was chief in Orlando and now at the Orange County Sheriff's Office, we're involved in a number of community engagement activities. We do community barbecues. We have a police athletic league. We're doing a food drive in our community next week. We deliver gifts during Christmas time and bikes to kids in underserved populations and areas throughout the county to show them that we are a part of this community and we need to get out of our patrol cars. We need to talk to our residents and really hear from them. But, it's so important for me and my deputies that we engage with our youth like we never have before. And we're doing a great job of that. And the deputies really get it. And, it starts from the top. So the philosophy has to come from me, and it does.
And with 2020 being such a challenging year, I mean, COVID and now the protests, how has that changed the way that you approach law enforcement?
Right. So, unfortunately, I have been the leader during crisis before, going way back to the Pulse tragedy. So when these two events happened here in Orange County, I had a good sense of what I needed to do. And so one of the first things I thought would be powerful is ensuring that our community saw a calm, measured approach from all of our community leaders, not just me. So I think Orange County did a great job of putting measures in place to stop the spread. And if you look at our numbers, our positivity rate is really, really low compared to the rest of the state of Florida and even the country. And part of that was our curfew, our stay-at-home order that we did long before the state of Florida did, and long before their communities, and that really helped us. And then now with the protests. So again, it was important for me to get out in front and actually go to the protests and start a dialogue with some of the organizers and some of the people out there. And I will say that I fully support people's right to assemble, to protest, as long as it's in a peaceful manner. But one of the things I wanted to do was show our deputies that, it's okay to go and talk to our folks who are out there, during these peaceful demonstrations and listen to what they want. People are upset in this country. People are frustrated. They're angry, and rightly so. What we saw in Minneapolis was an absolute disgrace and a criminal act. Came out very early and made it clear that that would not be tolerated here at the Orange County Sheriff's Office and will never be tolerated.
And before you became sheriff, you probably had a thought that this is what it would be like to be sheriff. What was one of the things that you thought you were like, this is definitely how it will be, but it was not that way?
I will say that, being a chief in a large police agency, so I had a pretty good idea of what it would be like to be the sheriff in a large agency. I think the big difference is, Orange County is 1,000 square miles. It is a population of 1.4 million people. It's a very diverse community from Bithlo to Apopka to Holden Heights to Pine Hills. So a lot of different communities with a lot of different needs, which I had a little bit of experience with in the city of Orlando, but didn't quite have all of those connections. So what I've been doing over these past couple of years is really working hard to continue building those connections in all of those areas throughout our county, whether it's the east side, the west side, up north in Apopka or down south in Hunters Creek. And it is a big county. There's a lot of ground to cover. And, that's why I try to go to as many functions as I can. We had a number of, meet the sheriff functions when I first became sheriff to get people to know me. And I was in a very good position where a lot of people didn't know me because I had been the chief. But I wanted them to get to know me as the sheriff and let me tell them what my priorities were and really tell them that I was here to listen to all of their concerns. But I would say one of the biggest things is just that the big area and the challenge that presents.
And I know last year there was a lot of talk about criminal justice reform. What steps have you taken in regards to help stop repeat offenders?
Right. So that's one of our big focuses here is on the prevention of violent crime. And then, so what we do have a number of people who have been arrested multiple times and have committed acts of violence in our community and continue to be let out in our community. So working really closely with our state attorney's office to identify those who have been involved in violent crime before and have really not stopped, and then continue to prey upon the citizens here in Orange County. So it's all about communication. So anytime that we get a violent case and we identify the perpetrator, we're making that phone call. We're going to see the folks at our state attorney's office to really have them take a hard look at that case to make sure that this person needs to be prosecuted. They've committed acts of violence in our community before, and they are continuing to prey upon our citizens. One of the other things we do, we're working really close with our U.S. Attorney's Office as well to ensure that those that can be prosecuted federally will be prosecuted federally as well.
And I also had a question about the Juvenile Civil Citations Initiative. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So as I briefly mentioned before, one of the things that's important to me is interacting with our youth. And, speaking for someone who I wasn't the perfect child when I was growing up, I know that a lot of these kids just need direction. And many times, and the state of Florida said this, if we put a kid in handcuffs and arrest them, they're more likely to reoffend. So they have studies that show that the juvenile civil citation is an effective tool to prevent our kids from going down that wrong path. We could give them the juvenile civil citation, get them the counseling they need, maybe a little bit of community service, and keep them out of the system. So what I want to do is expand the use of the juvenile civil citation. So I think in this area, and being involved in it when I was the chief, we started off probably erred on the side of being a little bit more conservative with the juvenile civil citations. So what I'm doing with my deputies now is we're changing the policy to expand the use of juvenile civil citations that could be used in more situations, keep our kids from getting arrested, and really send them down the path to success. So we've already, just by spreading that philosophy of mine that I don't want to see kids being put in handcuffs. I would rather use our resources for those violent offenders and people who are breaking into our homes and cars, and focus on giving the juveniles a second chance. So based on that philosophy, we've already seen a huge decrease in the number of our juvenile arrests, which I'm very proud of, and you're going to see that number continue to decrease as we move forward with this new policy change.
That's amazing. And one last question. It's got to be really tough having the work-life balance, as most professionals do. Tell us a little bit about your family.
So I have a wife, Tracy. We've been married for 28 years. And so really this life in law enforcement is all she has really known. I have two adult sons, Chase and Nicholas. They're both out of the house, so we are empty nesters. And so I think, again, being the chief of police in Orlando for 4 years really got me ready, but also got my family ready, because it's different when you're the leader. There's a lot more scrutiny. There's a lot more media attention. There's a lot more public attention, good and bad. So, what I explain to my family is, look, I can't please everyone. Yes, there are a number of people that like me and like what I'm doing, but there are going to be some people that don't like me or don't like necessarily the actions of my deputies, what we're doing. And don't take it personal. That comes with the life of being an appointed chief or an elected official. And, listen to people, hear them out. As far as home life and stuff, I'm very busy at work. I have some very, very long days, and people always ask me, well, what's your favorite thing to do? My favorite thing to do is just go home and do nothing and relax out on the back porch with my dog Jax and my wife Tracy, and just relax and enjoy ourselves.
I completely understand. On that note, I want to thank you so much, Sheriff Mina, and congratulations on you running for re-election for Orange County Sheriff. Good luck. And we look forward to seeing you at our Eastside Regional Hob Nob. Our virtual event is on June 30th at 5:30. We will see you there, and check out our website, esrhobnob.com, where you will be seeing these videos and more. Thank you so much, Sheriff. Good to see everyone.
Thank you, Bridget.